Hello, and welcome to the Elevator Pitch, hosted by yours truly, Sam Borders.
And Trace Maloney, the show where we create two movies and pitch them head-to-head against each other. Real quick, for those of you who don't know, an elevator pitch is a short description or a plot of a movie so it can be pitched to executives in a clear way. Had a little bit of a stroke there for a second. And then right before we get into it, just go ahead and leave us a rating, leave us a review. Ignore the fact that I can't talk right now. And just tell your friends about the show. Share it out. And we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it.
Yeah. We
There's no
spin
reason
wheels.
there's no reason to wait. So yeah, we're going to spin.
A wheel.
We have a movie genre wheel we're going to spin twice. And we have actors and actresses wheel that we're going to spin twice. And then we use the results of those spins to create a movie.
The greatest movies.
The greatest movies
time.
ever conceived. And we do the whole process over again. And then at the end, we pitch them. Okay. All right. First genre is going to be... Okay. A mystery.
A mystery. Okay.
Something mysterious. Okay.
Intrigue.
All right. Our second genre is going to be... Now it's a family mystery.
What does that mean?
Well, I think we've said this every time we get the genre family. Is it a mystery about a family, or is it a family-friendly mystery?
I guess we'll figure it out, but let's see who's in it first.
Let's figure out our stars. Our first star of the show, of the movie, is Will Smith.
Will Smith. Interesting.
We've got a big name right off the bat. His co-star is, of course, going to be Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman and Will Smith in this family mystery.
In a family mystery.
Okay. Family mystery. Okay. Family.
A
Here,
family.
Look at this. I've got family in one hand.
Yeah.
I've got mystery in the other.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're just going to smush them together.
So a family mystery.
What if it's about a family that solves crimes?
Okay. And how are Will Smith and Gary Oldman related? Through marriage?
I mean, maybe.
What if we do, because Sherlock Holmes is in the public domain, because it's such an old
Oh my goodness.
what if we do Sherlock Holmes starring Will Smith and Gary Oldman?
So Gary Oldman is Sherlock Holmes, right? Or
No, I was thinking Sherlock Holmes was Will Smith.
I mean,
Now,
Gary
it would
Oldman's
be-
like
it-
an Englishman and stuff.
It would be... Oh. I see what you're saying. Because now I'm thinking
Well,
of...
that could be some fun dynamics, though. It's kind of a Men in Black situation again.
Make Men in Black.
But we just put Gary Oldman instead, and we completely ignore the genres we got.
We don't even need Will Smith to reshoot anything. All we're doing is we're just...
Green screening in Gary Oldman.
Yeah, we're green screening Gary Oldman over Tommy Lee Jones. No, we can't do that. We can't
Definitely
do that.
not. I do like this Sherlock Holmes idea.
I mean, it's the mystery man himself. I do like this dynamic you're talking about. It's got to be this kind of, because Men in Black has that odd couple dynamic.
Yeah. And this will certainly have that.
He's an old grizzled guy, and then there's the young buck who's, I don't know, it's been a while. He's like cool, I guess. I don't know. I just see. I like both the thoughts of Will Smith being Sherlock Holmes and Will Smith being Dr. Watson, because I like Gary Oldman being not Will Smith.
Like, you're getting all mixed up.
There's so many names.
I like Gary Oldman being Sherlock Holmes. I like Gary Oldman being Watson. I like Will Smith being Gary Oldman. And Gary
Holmes being Dr. Smith.
Smith Watson.
I like that. It's kind of like not maybe let's just do an amalgamation of all of Will Smith's movies and turn it into Sherlock Holmes somehow. So he's also the genie from Aladdin.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking like if he is Dr. Watson, then he's kind of like that kind of
genie.
Sidekick, kind of goofy-esque character.
I mean, yeah.
So which one do you think? It's a tough decision.
It's tough, isn't it?
I want to know who's going to play it straight, because whoever should play it straight, and I think Gary Oldman should play it straight, that should be the Sherlock.
Well, then I think you answered it.
Or maybe
Okay.
this is like the most convoluted way to figure out who is going to be Sherlock Holmes. Maybe we bring this Sherlock Holmes to the modern era.
Uh-huh.
And Sherlock is a little bit more eccentric, so that Dr. Watson is playing it straight.
I mean, we could do that, sure. I feel
one
like that's
sounds
kind
better?
of the concept of the show Sherlock, but
Shut up. That doesn't exist in America.
but we have Will Smith.
That's
so.
that's on the BBC.
This is
doesn't
American
exist
Sherlock
there.
Holmes.
This is American. It's a movie. It's better than a TV show. I like the first idea. Gary Oldman is Sherlock. He's the straight guy.
Okay.
Will Smith is
Smith's
Dr. Watson. He's the
tagging along, making
the
sarcastic quips.
The quippy guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that plays into the characters at all, but
What are we doing? It's got to be family friendly.
it's got to be family friendly, so it can't be like regular Sherlock where people are just fucking dying.
Maybe somebody stole. I just had a crazy idea where they're solving like a crime that a child would normally do in like a child's mystery thing. Like someone stole money from
Someone stole a
pastry,
cookie from the cookie jar.
from the pastry bake sale for the school, and like these
they
two
call
grown
in-
men
They call
come
in
in
two
and try to solve this
detectives.
mystery.
What if we play it really safe, like really family friendly, but it still has like these grisly aspects where there's like crime scenes and like one kid like passed out from a sugar high and they're like taking pictures of the crime scene. And there's like a not an actual like autopsy scene, but there's like that same kid is laying on one of the nurses' beds and like rubbing his stomach, and Dr. Watson is like inspecting him. Yeah, this is a code 3 tummy ache.
Okay, I have an idea.
Yeah.
What if it's a family movie? And I mean, I'm pulling it back to I think one of our first comments.
Uh-huh.
A kind of a family that solves crimes.
Okay.
Let's say Will Smith as Dr. Watson has a family.
Mm-hmm.
And then something happens. Some sort of crime happens to their family. I don't know what.
They all get murdered.
They all die.
No.
Maybe somebody breaks in the house, steals something. Somebody loses something. I don't know.
A prized family jewel.
Yeah, something like that. And then Will Smith is like, I remember a guy. I'll call him up. We were good friends back in the day. And then boom, Gary Oldman. Sherlock Holmes. To the rescue.
Okay. I like that. So we're tying in a family mystery, but it's also
it's
family
both.
friendly.
It's a family mystery and it's a family mystery.
So yeah. What is Sherlock Holmes' villain name? Like, what's his
Moriarty.
Moriarty. Maybe there's like a.
Should we get a Moriarty?
I think if we have someone named Sherlock Holmes and someone else named Dr. Watson, it's not going to be a Moriarty. It's just going to be Moriarty.
No, I'm saying, like, do we spin the wheel to get a Moriarty?
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
We can. Do you think that it should be a Moriarty?
There's multiple.
We'll spin it. There's many.
We got a dozen Moriartys sitting around.
They're a hive mind. Okay. Here's
we are
the
Moriarty.
here's the spin.
He's an alien. Hold on. We don't need to spin.
It's an alien.
He's an alien who crashes to Earth and starts taking over people's minds. And he's Moriarty.
If I saw that as a kid, that'd scare me.
Terrifying. It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, when Donald Sutherland just like screams at the camera. Do it. So, okay, we're spinning for a Moriarty.
Yes, we're spinning. That's not what we're keeping.
Okay, here is our Moriarty.
Oh God.
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis. Okay.
I don't know how that was really funny to me. It's just like Gary Oldman's nemesis is like a younger woman.
I mean, hey.
It's just like you imagine, especially when you're talking about Sherlock Holmes, you imagine like maybe someone like.
Here's the thing. I did have a great idea just now.
Okay.
So, you think of Moriarty as being his like equal. What if, and since it's a family movie, this is just a thought.
Yeah.
What if Moriarty is a little boy and he's like a boy genius?
Played by me.
And
I was thinking
he
it would
stole something from the Will Smith family.
This little child?
Yes, and he's an evil mastermind.
Oh, and that's like the whole movie is Sherlock is trying to convince everyone else that a child is like an evil.
He's trying to find evidence that this kid did this.
But everyone's
if
like,
it wasn't a family movie, I would love it to be like he's like trying to start like a war or something somehow.
He's trying to stage a coup.
Yeah.
Or start a revolution, and he kills someone. He politically assassinates someone.
He's moving weapons and contraband.
But it's still just a kid. It's a little boy.
How do we feel about this?
I like it. I like it.
I feel bad for Mila Kunis though.
I mean, hey.
Maybe she could play his mom or something so that she stays in the movie.
Yeah, Mila Kunis will stay in the movie. We've downgraded her role, but that's okay. So, I was also thinking that maybe...
This is the stupidest movie already.
It's pretty dumb. I was thinking that maybe this little boy has like a big kind of brute friend.
Oh, okay.
Like and I know it's a little
like
weird to say that he's friends with like a grown adult, but
yeah, like a full-grown man.
I'm thinking like because it can't literally just be an 8-year-old. Like he needs muscle.
Okay. So
and I think
got,
he knows that.
Okay, who's a person that could do that? Let's get The Rock.
I was thinking
everybody loves The Rock,
and he's kind of
he's
like
in everything.
And he's kind of like he's like what would that? He like Kronk kind of.
Yeah.
Where he's a little dull.
Comedic light to it.
Yeah, he's a little dull, but he's the muscle.
Yeah, that's fun. This is a family movie, so
it is
a
family movie. I know we started off really weird, but I think we're starting to craft something that might work.
It's starting to fall into an actual movie.
Thing. Yeah.
This is a very strange movie, but maybe okay, how about this? What if it's like a race against time type of thing? Like they need to find this thing before the other group, so there's like some
Moriarty planted a bomb.
Yeah, a little boy planted a bomb somewhere. No, it can't be that dire because it's
it can't.
like a family movie.
Maybe.
Well, I guess it could
Maybe.
be, right? Like,
Well, maybe. Okay, so maybe this Moriarty. Okay, obviously Moriarty and Sherlock can't have met before.
yes, that's the implication is that this is their first, like,
The
meeting of the
tie-in.
minds.
Here's an idea. The way that he's not stealing directly from like Will Smith. Will Smith has a little boy
Yes.
around the same age as Moriarty.
Uh-huh.
And Moriarty steals. Maybe there's going to be a talent show.
No, here's what I think should happen.
Okay.
We should. So something gets stolen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you get back to what you're saying, but I want it to be revealed, like maybe halfway through, that it is a little boy, and so they're like maybe you know that it's Moriarty, like they've said that. You found that information out, but we don't know who it is yet.
And then it's revealed.
And then, like, you see the back of a chair. It's like they're looking at a video thing, and he turns around, and there's a little boy sitting there.
There's a big mahogany desk and a big leather chair.
And it turns around, and there's this little boy sitting in a chair.
Maybe The Rock is
like-
Moriarty's dad.
And he goes, well.
Well, maybe The Rock is Moriarty's dad, and you see The Rock sitting in the chair, and then he spins around, and he's holding Moriarty there.
Oh,
So
no,
it's like
I
a
had an
double
idea.
fake out. Yeah.
What if
Okay.
this is gonna change the whole game?
Okay.
What if Gary Oldman voices Moriarty, and Will Smith is Sherlock Holmes, and Mila Kunis is Watson?
That changes everything.
That changes the whole game.
Okay.
How do you feel about this decision?
So we've effectively...
We dub over this little boy with Gary Oldman so that he can sound very sinister and English.
They're from like Wisconsin, and he's got a British accent.
Yeah, but he's like an evil mastermind.
How
do you like this idea?
I do really like it. I do really like it. And yeah, I think everything else stays the same. We're just bringing Mila Kunis has been bumped up again.
Yes.
Even
I
higher.
felt bad.
She's Dr. Watson. Will Smith is now
Wisecracking.
Sherlock Holmes. And Gary Oldman is a boy.
So is it Mila Kunis' son that gets something stolen or whatever?
I don't think that part really mattered. I think it could be that still.
Okay.
It could be that Watson's child, and then it's the whole I'll call someone I know, and Will Smith shows up.
Yeah, and he starts being charming.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Hopefully he cares.
Yeah. So I like that, and we'll keep The Rock in
Yeah.
as Moriarty's partner.
Yeah.
I was thinking, you said like a race against time. So maybe there was like, and to make it kind of seem like you don't know what the motive was, maybe there was like this really expensive guitar that Dr. Watson had, and there was going to be a talent show, and her son was going to play the guitar.
Maybe she didn't even know it was very expensive. It was like some sort of antique that she found somewhere.
And it
She's
got
like, "Oh."
stolen.
And then somebody steals it.
Yeah.
Because it's worth like millions of dollars.
So this little boy steals it. See, I was thinking that maybe it's his whole motive is he doesn't like, maybe her son like pushed him down on the playground one day. And he's given like this speech at when they first when they catch him finally.
When the chair turns around.
And they catch him, and he's finally like giving his whole spiel, and he says, "Your little boy pushed me." or something like that.
I scraped my knee on the
Look at
concrete.
this, and he pulls up he's wearing shorts, and he pulls them, and you see his knees got like a scab
It's
on
just
it.
a little tiny scuff.
It's healed a lot, but you get the
You
point.
get the picture. It hurt.
I
had a
cried.
boom-boom.
I cried on the playground, and everyone laughed at me. And it turns out that her son didn't even like mean to push him. He
It was
like,
all an accident.
yeah. You think we should send this kid to jail at the end? You think that would be funny if a kid goes to jail?
I think he needs to get away.
Oh,
So for sequel,
set up for sequel.
because everybody's gonna want to see the second one.
Yeah, everyone's gonna want to see. I don't even know what you would call it.
Sherlock Holmes in the case of the stolen guitar.
That's great. Yeah. Okay. So let's kind of plot the points again,
Yeah.
because I think we've crafted this movie.
Start of the movie, Mila Kunis with family, happy.
Happy.
Some time to show that they're nice and friendly.
Yeah.
Is she like a single mom, or has she got like a family with more children?
Let's just say. Wait. This. I feel like Dr. Watson has a wife.
Okay, so
So maybe she has a family, like a husband and everything.
sounds good. I was
Or
just curious.
any spouse.
Any spouse, wife, husband.
Who cares? That's not an important detail. They don't play a big part in the story.
We don't even know who the actor is.
It's like in those old Tom and Jerry cartoons whenever an adult was on screen, you just saw like waist down.
Yeah.
You never see this person's face. No, so yeah, happy family. I think there should be, like we talked about the bake sale thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that should be an introductory mystery, because there's like the lead-in and then there's the big one.
Okay.
Like Moriarty was
maybe it
ramping
ties
up.
in somehow. Like he needed that to get the guitar for some reason.
He needed the money from the bake sale to buy
A particular thing.
like a lockpick set or something.
Okay.
To break in or whatever.
Yeah.
So
So it all ties together in a
so
grand scheme.
there's still that funny scene where the little kid passed out and they're like taking pictures of the crime scene from a sugar high. And Dr. Watson is like,
are you telling me
him. Yeah.
this little Moriarty boy fed this kid a whole bunch of sugar
And he
so that he would
out.
have a tummy ache, so he could steal money from a bake stand?
Yes.
That's great.
You got it in one.
I got it in one. I understood. I'm following. I'm following this madness.
So yeah, there's that crime scene thing. It's cute to watch little kids act like they're dead, you know.
I don't know what that says about you, but
So then there is would it just lead right into the break-in? Like maybe okay, she's helping. Maybe like she's not a doctor.
we need some downtime too.
I was thinking like Moriarty planned it out so while Watson is, because maybe she's like she does part-time as the school nurse as well.
Okay.
To give her a
That gives us
reason to be there.
A foot in the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Moriarty knew that she would be away. There's like the setup of the whole guitar at the very beginning. So he knew that she would be away. She comes back from the crime scene and her house is broken into.
Boom.
Boom.
And there's a giant man, The Rock, there.
There's a giant The Rock-sized hole in the wall that he ran through. No. Well, yeah, you see the Rock, but he's like concealed in some way. He's got like
he leaves at the back or
a
something.
ski mask.
That's a good bait and switch, because then you think it's a...
You think that whoever's doing this is a big boy.
And in fact, it's a little boy.
And maybe like what in the guitar case, because they had a guitar case, there's like the calling card. I feel like in all these mysteries, there's like there's like a little business card with M on it.
Yeah, maybe there's even like voice recordings so that we get Gary Oldman's voice. So you're like, oh...
distorted, so so it's not.
Well, here's what I'm thinking is like on the poster it's gonna say and Gary Oldman,
but he's not gonna be on the poster. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this poster. Am I gonna crop Gary Oldman's head onto a boy?
I don't know. You'll have to figure that out. Just have him in the corner going like, hey.
His hands popping out. Yeah,
show him in a recording booth.
Saying his lines. Well, I'll just put like it'll just be Will Smith and Mila Kunis, and then we'll also say and Gary Oldman as Moriarty.
Yeah.
He won't be on the poster at all.
Yeah, it's a trick.
So yeah, so there's like a calling card. There's a bunch of fake out things.
Yeah. Guitar gets stolen. She says, "This is getting out of hand. I know somebody."
Detective.
He's just so
Sherlock Holmes.
He's such a loose cannon, and he's crazy.
He's a loose cannon cop. 2 days away from retirement. No, so he she calls him. Yeah. And they start this investigation.
They're finding clues and stuff.
Yeah, we'll figure out the clues later whenever we manage to pitch this to MGM.
That's right.
So yeah, they're finding clues. They're doing their thing, and then
maybe
reveal.
they fall into some sort of trap.
Yeah, it's like the clues lead to a warehouse. There's always like a warehouse scene in like mystery movies nowadays because it's just a big open area.
Uh-huh.
And like maybe there's like in like where the guy, like the head of the warehouse, the supervisor would sit, there's like a big glass office.
Yeah.
And a light shines down on him, and it like illuminates this dark warehouse. And
I imagine there's lots of like boxes on shelves and stuff in this warehouse.
Yeah, and then you see a silhouette of someone walk up in the light, or like the shadow casts over them. So because the shadow would look a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And then reverse cut up to the office, and it's just a little boy standing on like a bar stool. And he says, Dr. Watson, Mr. Holmes.
What a pleasure.
We finally meet. And
For
then
the
there's
last time.
He kills him.
What I was imagining is like little stuffed animals come out of the boxes, but they're like evil. I don't know. This is a crazy movie.
They're like he's like a tinkerer.
They're like little robots.
Yeah, he tinkered with them.
He's a boy genius.
He's a little boy genius.
What I've posed to you is, what if Jimmy Neutron was evil?
Jimmy Neutron evil. Also, Gary Oldman is there.
also Will Smith.
He is Gary Oldman. Yeah, I like that. He tinkers, and then they get out. They're on his case now, but he's always 2 steps ahead.
He cut their brake lines.
He cut their brake lines, and they drove into the harbor. But I mean, I feel like there's just more like clues that they follow. They
chase scene, something like that.
There's a chase scene, and then there's that obligatory thing that we have to add because we said it, where he's trying to prove that this little boy is evil.
Yeah, maybe that's
maybe
the
they show
half.
up. Maybe they show up. That's the whole second half is just him trying to prove that he's evil.
Trying to catch him.
They show up to his parents' house.
Then anytime he's not talking to them,
yes,
the actual voice speaks.
It's just the little boy. That's what I was gonna say. You're on it, dude.
This is so
You were perfectly on it, though.
So dumb.
um,
It's wonderful though.
yeah, and they figured out they solved the mystery. I mean,
Um,
it's
They get
that's
their guitar back, and they both go to the talent show.
yeah.
Standing ovation.
For the little boy. He plays Johnny Be Good, like at the end of Back to the Future.
Yeah.
He does the whole
Maybe,
like.
and then maybe in the crowd we see Moriarty, and he's like, "I got away."
You see
Bum, bum,
a
bum.
silhouette outside, like there's a window, and you see a silhouette, and then it like it cuts closer to the window, and you see Moriarty looking inside through the bushes with a scowl on his face, and he turns and walks away from the window, and then the credits start to roll.
And The Rock has an umbrella over his head.
Yeah, as they walk away, and then the credits roll.
Yeah.
Because that's that movie. I don't really we had it really
nuts.
quick.
I mean, we did and didn't. It evolved into something very different than I thought it
It did
would be.
evolve. I mean, we just changed who played who.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Okay, what's the name?
That's what I was thinking. I'm not opposed to Sherlock Holmes in the case of the missing guitar.
What if it's just Sherlock and Moriarty?
Lil Moriarty.
No, we can't reveal that.
Yeah, we can't reveal that yet. Sherlock v. Moriarty, like versus.
I mean, I guess that's fine.
The final death match is like the subtitle.
I just feel like Sherlock Holmes in the case of the stolen guitar doesn't sound like the first movie.
That's true.
That's my only problem with it.
Yeah, I like Holmes and Moriarty. Like, that's okay.
Yeah,
'Cause I was gonna say
think that's
Holmes
good.
and Watson, but I think that was that Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah, we don't want to think about that.
No. So
Yeah, Holmes and Moriarty. Holmes v. Moriarty.
yeah, we'll do V. Holmes versus Moriarty.
Perfect.
Sounds like one of those. You remember all those mashup horror movies like Freddy versus Jason and Alien versus Predator.
Yeah.
This is the newest in that
I mean, this is a
saga.
horror movie in its own right.
Okay, yeah. Holmes versus Moriarty. Let me get my wheels back up. All right, let's start with the second one. Are you ready?
Yep.
Our first genre for our second movie is going to be sci-fi,
Sci-fi. Okay.
a science fiction. What else? What other than a science fiction gangster movie? I noticed that you're at a loss for words.
I don't know what to say about this.
I don't know either. I mean, it just sounds like it'll be a cool fucking movie.
Who's
Oh, yeah.
Who's
We
in
have
this?
We have to get our stars. So, a sci-fi gangster movie. Oh, yeah, we switched out the crime genre for gangster, because crime was just very,
This is very vague.
very vague. So, we
And
figured we have heist and thriller and, we figured we had enough crime-related things. So,
Yeah.
we were missing like a gangster movie. But yeah, our stars. Our first star for this movie.
Come on, Joe Pesci.
I don't know if he's on this list.
Oh my God.
Daniel Day-Lewis
Daniel Day-Lewis.
is here.
Okay.
This is Gangs of New York, but in space.
Gangs of New York on Mars.
Gangs of New York. Well, New York is what they call New York in that show Futurama.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's like 1,000 years later.
Gotcha.
Anyway, our second star is going to be Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt and Daniel Day-Lewis.
What a team.
What a team.
In a sci-fi gangster film. So now what I'm already thinking of.
I'm glad you're thinking of something.
Space West Side Story.
Okay. All right. Thanks for listening.
And that's it. It's just
This has been the elevator pitch.
No. Well, I was thinking of like. I was thinking that they should be opposing gangs. Daniel Day-Lewis runs one gang. Chris Pratt runs another.
Maybe Chris Pratt's like the up and coming.
Daniel Day-Lewis is the gang leader.
He's the kingpin.
He is he's the Don Corleone.
Yeah.
The Godfather, if you will.
And he will be able to carry this role.
Yes.
This distinguished role.
Unlike our other Daniel Day-Lewis film, this seems like something that he might do.
Well, it depends how stupid it gets. Let's find out.
It does depend on how stupid it gets.
Let's see how much sci-fi gets in here.
So should it be just like future sci-fi or like? I mean, of course it'll be future, but I'm saying like.
What you're asking is it like Blade Runner or is it like
Star Wars?
Something else, Star Wars or something.
Star Wars-esque. Yeah, that's exactly. I was thinking future sci-fi, and I was imagining Blade Runner.
I think that would be the better route. Yeah.
Yeah, because if we had another like on the moon space
Crater Town Blues 2.
Yeah, Crater Town Blues 2 Electric Boogaloo. No, I like it being like a kind of a dystopian future type deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis is the kingpin,
the head honcho.
And
king of the crime underworld. And
just to like save me time, no aliens. There's
Come on, he can't be
aliens.
Like Blue.
I'm not gonna do that.
Come on.
It's just humans.
It's just folks.
It's just people. So he's the head honcho,
yes,
as you said.
We've established this.
So Chris Pratt is the real star.
Yeah, he's the protagonist.
Daniel Day-Lewis is, of course, the antagonist. I'm trying to think of like how, like what is like their thing, like in.
What do you mean?
In like I've seen some, or I don't know, like some gangs had problem, like especially during the Prohibition. I'm thinking of like Mafia. You know, their big thing was how much alcohol can they sell. Then it became like stuff with casinos, making Las Vegas type deal. Mm-hmm. Are they drug runners? Like, what are their? I guess they're like, what's their thing? Like, are they just mercenary gangs? Do they sell future drugs? Do they run, like, are they like basically
speakeasies?
Are they doing speakeasies?
Why not all of them?
They're super gangs.
They do all the crime.
It's the big crime gang.
They have a small mercenary army. They run these nightclubs, and they have future drugs.
Okay, so what is Chris Pratt doing to infringe on their territory?
I think he's just rising to the top, maybe.
So maybe it starts out he's opening his own future.
Maybe he is inheriting a smaller kind of organization
from his father.
Maybe his dad, yeah.
His father was playing with his son out in the clotheslines, and he dropped dead like Marlon Brando in Godfather.
Yeah, he's got an orange or a tangerine.
He's got a tangerine. I never really got that part. So he inherits a smaller organization,
but he's always been ambitious. We need to. He's got big plans.
Well, okay. Maybe then he is literally building from the ground up. If we're gonna go off of his ambitions, maybe his dad is still there, and his dad's clean. But Chris Pratt maybe he tries to start clean, and then he slowly gets roped in. So he's kind of like this. He's our protagonist, but he's still not really a good guy.
So he's turning, and then by the end, he's just as bad as Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, what's her name? Vincent.
Who? For which one?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, that's fine.
Vincent is the big kingpin. Chris Pratt's name is
Bingo.
Mario. No. I would like it. It would be really funny if they were still like Italian, like mafia guys.
Yeah. Luigi.
It's not like the Italians would go extinct. I'm just saying it's just like you think of this future, but they're still just like, hey, bada bing, bada boom. His name's like, I don't know.
Just say a name.
Grayson. I'm trying to think of something kind of future-y.
There, that's fine.
So yeah, he goes to open. Maybe he wants to open his own nightclub, and then through the nightclub, he's like, maybe at first he needs to hire some muscle because there's a lot of fights, and then he starts to use that muscle towards.
And he starts getting money too.
Yeah,
so he starts to get corrupted by that, and
the money comes in. And he notices that a lot of people are selling drugs, and he wants a cut. And then eventually he opens another nightclub.
So it's kind of a tragic story of how someone's ambition can...
Yeah, it's kind of... I thought...
Take them to dark places.
I thought it would be... It's kind of like what they do in Breaking Bad. You know, he starts out as a science teacher. He just, like what he does is bad, but he wants to help his family. Maybe that's another thing. His family is poorer. Maybe it's not like a whole thing like Breaking Bad where tragedy strikes and he needs to make money for them after he dies. So
maybe he's just given an opportunity.
He's given an opportunity. He knows that his family's poor, so he wants to help them out.
Yeah.
He wants to give he loves his dad. He wants to give his dad everything he never had.
His papa.
But Papa, he goes Papa.
He's Papa. He says it just like that.
And then like the rest of it, he just talks normally.
Yeah, and he just talks like normal Chris Pratt.
So that's his motive. He and the whole thing is like his whole idea is, I'm doing this for good. Like, this isn't, I'm not doing it for bad. And then at the end, there's like the confrontation where he's like,
you're not so different, you and I.
And then he
realizes. It wouldn't be an episode of the show if we didn't say that.
I was really thinking that maybe Moriarty should have said that to Sherlock, but it works better here.
They are very different.
It works a lot better here. But yeah, like
he definitely shouldn't say that, but I think he should realize that he's, maybe even like just after he kills him.
Yeah, and what if the antagonist, and then it's like this whole kind of thing. Daniel Day-Lewis is, he's kind of like a secondary antagonist, and the real antagonist.
Like a goofy guy.
He's a loosey. No, Daniel Day-Lewis is
he's like, whoa.
He's zany. He's like a secondary antagonist because Chris Pratt is both the protagonist and his own antagonist.
He's his own antagonist. Trace, that's so deep.
That is so deep.
Trace, that's so deep. This is the most pretentious thing.
So this could have just been set in like the regular time, but
it's like future and
2057
neon lights and stuff.
Yeah. And
space drugs and stuff.
And then the whole thing, like probably halfway through the movie, Daniel Day-Lewis gets killed by Chris Pratt.
Oh, halfway. Okay. I was expecting that to be kind of near the end. Like
halfway halfway, 2/3, and then I was thinking I wanted to give it enough time to flesh out this whole thing where he becomes just as evil, just as bad.
Okay, I think 2/3 would be best because he is our other star.
That's true. So and then like by the end maybe he ends up getting killed or he gets shot or something, and he realizes that it's like this cyclical thing.
Yeah, it's a cycle.
It's a cycle of violence. This is unintentionally the most pretentious movie we've ever made.
We need lots of like slow-mo shots with like dramatic music and shit.
Chris Pratt standing in the rain at the end when he has everything that he ever wanted, but he realizes that his behavior has driven his family away. He
realized that the true treasure was the friends he made along the way.
And as he realizes that, he's standing in the rain, and then someone shoots him because he's
this is all in silhouette.
Yeah,
it's very against the neon city that he
helped build,
rose to fame in.
And then it's like the end of Click, where Adam Sandler dies in the rain.
Click.
But it's Chris Pratt after he got shot. Or maybe he doesn't maybe he doesn't get shot and is dying. Maybe he just gets shot and killed, and there's like a close up on his face or something, and it zooms out and you see that he got shot like a couple of times as it just soars up. The camera soars up.
I really do like this I can see it, that it's like we're looking at them from the ground, and it's like it's just their shadows, and we see the guy shoot Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Maybe he gets shot in the back.
Yeah.
Because if he was just standing and someone walked up in front of him and pulled out a future gun, I think
maybe he's lost all hope. Maybe he doesn't care anymore.
He sees it and he goes to reach for his own gun, but then he stops.
And then he stops.
And he puts his hand down.
And then he walks up to me and says, "Please."
Kill me. No. I kind of like him getting shot in the back.
Okay.
Maybe it's almost like a shot-for-shot recreation of how he kills Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, that'll be great. That'll be really poetic.
It
poetry. It rhymes.
It rhymes. And then that drives home the cyclical nature of crime, that it just keeps affecting more and more people.
This is so deep.
This is such a deep movie.
I want to get Joe Pesci in here because I mentioned him.
Yeah.
Here's how I'm thinking we do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you were saying, like, we were talking about maybe an opportunity. Maybe he works at this criminal bar, like it's not allowed or whatever for some reason.
Yeah.
And Joe Pesci maybe owns it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of like, not like a... I think mentor might be too strong of a word, but... Yeah. And then he eventually gets killed. And maybe there's some revenge in it too, and it's like all sorts of negative emotions.
Okay. See, I was thinking it would maybe be kind of like a reverse card for Joe Pesci, where he plays the good guy father.
Oh, okay.
I like your idea. When you said when you wanted to bring Joe Pesci into it, that was just immediately what popped into my head.
Okay.
I
want him to be able to swear a lot.
Well, he can still swear. Just because you're good doesn't mean...
No, I know, but I don't know.
I genuinely think that I generally like to think that I'm good, but I do cuss like a sailor.
Well, no, I'm not saying that...
No, you're saying you're coming after me.
Yeah, I'm attacking you. You loser.
No.
Stop.
I do think that Joe Pesci is just so iconic in those roles.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get Scorsese to direct this too.
Yeah, that'll be great.
I bet I know he doesn't like the superhero movies. We'll get his usual
crew to fill in the rest of the cast.
Robert De Niro's in there.
Yeah.
The others, I don't know. I like that. Okay, so yeah, we've pretty much got that movie too. So let's just quickly plot it out. We got both of these relatively quick.
Yeah, it's new for us.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're like 25 minutes in and we're like, what movie are we making?
What are we doing? Okay. So, maybe
Starts
there's,
off.
at the very beginning, there's like this whole like montage, not really a montage, but like a couple of scenes of Chris Pratt growing up into this impoverished family.
Okay.
So it sets up the fact that he wants to be different. He wants to make a name for himself.
Yeah, and it kind of introduces to this world, because there'll be different things. There'll be like flying cars and shit.
Yeah, and then because they're impoverished, sadly that means that they'll be in the dirtier, nastier, kind of meaner side of town. So you'll get introduced to these criminals beforehand. You'll get the whole crime world set up, the syndicate. So yeah, that's at the very start. Then we get to now for them, present time for them, which is the future for us, of course.
Yeah, it's always been the future.
Yes. And then I don't know, maybe he has like this kind of dead end, like not paying well job that's like really shitty. He like washes dishes somewhere, or he's like a janitor or something that like doesn't pay well and that he obviously doesn't like, and he really still wants to make a name for himself. So you're saying that Joe Pesci owned a business, right?
Yeah, some sort of illegal nightclub or something. That was my initial thought.
Maybe he works at that nightclub as one of those things, like a janitor, or like maybe he's like a repairman.
Yeah, something like that.
Something blue collar that just won't pay him well, especially since this is like a shitty version of the future. So that's how he meets Joe Pesci.
Yes.
It's kind of like The Irishman when Robert De Niro meets Joe Pesci by like working on his truck, and Joe Pesci comes up and he's like, "Hey, that's a carburetor," or whatever he says. It's like that. He's like fixing a toilet in the bathroom, and he's like, "Oh, that's a toilet."
That's a toilet. That's a space toilet.
See, you don't even have to pull down your pants. You just stand here, and it sucks the waste out of you.
Oh God.
It's the future, Sam. It's the future.
I don't want to be in the future then.
So
yeah, they start to get friendly. He's like helping him out with stuff. Maybe he starts to rise up in this nightclub. Then something's got to happen. Joe Pesci gets killed.
Yeah.
He goes too far or something.
He goes job to job. Like Joe Pesci's like, "Oh, you're a big dude. You can be a bouncer. We need a new bouncer." So he goes to the bouncer, and then, like you said, he keeps rising up, and then eventually he starts to get more money doing criminal activity for Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, something happened. Maybe there's a quarrel in the nightclub. He's still doing like part-time bouncer stuff on the side of the criminal stuff. And then he hears like space guns get shot inside.
Yeah.
People are running out. He's trying to push his way in, and he sees little old Joe Pesci laying on the ground, dead.
Laying on the ground. This is so sad.
Maybe it's raining in the club.
Yeah, inside.
No, he's laying on the ground dead. Maybe there's like this really cool chase scene because he sees the gunman, and he starts chasing after him, and that's how he kind of figures out who the gunman works for.
Okay, I do want the scene where he's like kneeling over his dead body, and the neon fluorescent glow of the club. The club
is illuminating
after hours.
Is illuminating.
All the chairs are put up and stuff, and he's just on the floor there.
Oh!
In a pool of his own blood.
So wait, are you saying that he chases him and then comes back to Joe Pesci?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how that would work. but I need
I
that scene
think
there.
I think that if it's like midnight when it happens, so the club still is bouncing, as they say.
Okay.
He gets shot, and he runs it. And it's kind of like that Uncle Ben moment,
Yeah.
where he can only say like 2 sentences to him because he's an older dude and he just got shot a couple of times. And they talk for a second, and maybe he lets it like a single tear cascades down his cheek, and he looks up, and
beautiful.
he's in the whole, like, because it was a packed club. There's like people trying to scurry to the exits to get out, but he sees the guy with the gun running towards like the kitchen or something, or the back exit, the back room. And then after Joe Pesci dies in his arms, he runs after him.
And he kills him.
Just brutally kills him.
I mean, that would be a turn, wouldn't it?
It would be. I mean,
maybe that's the moment where he starts to go bad.
Yeah, and he kind of takes over the club.
This
somehow.
is so dramatic.
So dramatic. He maybe that guy wasn't even like directly working for Vincent Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
He was just a hired gun. And he's like, please, no, I just needed the money.
Oh my God, this is dark.
And he kills him.
And then he inherits the nightclub from
Somehow. He somehow gets it.
He didn't have any kids or anything.
Joe Pesci's last words are, "It is yours." And he hands him the keys.
I leave a dead boy.
He goes, kills that guy. Yeah, like we said, he starts to get cut in more into the business. He's becoming more and more jaded because his mentor, like you said, that's kind of a stretch of a word, but his friend was killed.
Yeah. And also, like, as he rises up more, he gets like money, and the drugs come in, the women, who knows,
the space booze, the space drugs.
Yeah.
He starts selling space guns to people.
Yeah, it's all very bad.
Yeah, it's very space evil. There's no space; it's the future.
Yeah,
but he's doing that, and then like maybe it's like a couple years later, so he's even bigger. He's still not the biggest, but he's got maybe now he owns a couple.
He's on
of
Vincent's
nightclubs.
radar now, though.
He's on Vincent's radar, but now he figures out, like, he has a new guy in his posse that says he knows who hired the gunman to kill Joe Pesci.
Okay.
And then that's why he starts to go after Vincent.
Okay. It could also just be that Vincent's the biggest guy and he wants to be the top dog.
Maybe that's like the setup, and then the final straw is he figures out that Vincent was the one.
Maybe he realizes it, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Vincent is coming after him, but the moment that he figures out Vincent hired the gunman, he loses his mind. He's like, no. Yeah. Just like that.
He ends up killing him.
Like there's probably 30 minutes left in the movie.
He gets to the top.
Everything
becomes miserable.
Yeah. He thinks that he's going to be happy. Everything's miserable. His deeds catch up to him. His dirty deeds.
Yeah.
And then he ends up getting shot in the back a couple of times.
And there we go. That's the movie.
That's basically it. Like, that's the Spark Notes.
Boom. What's it called, though?
Oh. I forgot about that.
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci dies.
Joe Pesci dies.
I kind of like Dirty Deeds.
Maybe. We'll think about it.
Yeah, your face didn't see it. That's the last.
Well, I'm just thinking. It's not that I don't have anything against it. It's just I think.
I'm trying to think of something a little sci-fi-y as well.
Yeah.
The Neon City.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else.
Dirty Deeds.
Dirty Deeds or City of Neon. Or the Neon City, whichever one.
Let's say the City of Neon or whatever.
The Neon City or the City of Neon?
I don't know. Neon City.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Boom.
Okay.
Neon City.
That's the two movies. We got them both
those.
done. I like how the name was the hardest part for the second one. Like, we had it right off the bat, and it was the name was hard.
Making a name for a movie is hard.
It's hard,
But now we're going to pitch them against each other.
Yeah.
Holmes versus Moriarty. Classic characters come to life like never before. After a string of crimes take place in the city, Dr. Watson, Mila Kunis, turns to her old friend, Sherlock Holmes, Will Smith, to help crack the case wide open. Now, with his help, they're able to team up against their greatest foe, Moriarty, Gary Oldman. Can they solve the case before time runs out?
That's good. That is a
good movie.
That's a good movie. And if you,
great movie.
And if you're listening to this podcast and you skipped over everything else just to get to this end, you're in for a wild ride when you get to that movie because it has some twists and turns. Yeah, that was good. Okay, here comes mine. Neon City. Chris Pratt stars as Grayson in this futuristic take on the gangster genre. After growing up in poverty in the middle of the criminal underworld, he only wanted the best for him and his family. After the death of his friend, he becomes jaded as he rises through the ranks of an organized crime ring. After getting to the top, he draws the ire of the mob boss Vincent, Daniel Day-Lewis. But at the top, he only wanted more. But more is never enough.
Yay.
It's good.
Yay.
Yeah. Both of them pretty good contenders.
Yeah.
The last couple of weeks we've had some good ones.
Okay. Now comes the part of the show where we try to guess which one of these would actually get made.
And let me tell you, this is hard.
This is a closer one.
This is one of the closest ones we've had.
Because it's like, yeah, the first one's stupid, but it's a family movie. Family movies are dumb sometimes.
Yeah.
At the same time, the other one has some weird actor choices. Like, why is Chris Pratt in this movie?
Yeah, when has Chris Pratt ever really exceeded at being a serious character?
Maybe this is his breakout role.
It could be. I mean, you get people like Adam Sandler or Jim Carrey who can actually really do good dramatic acting, and you never know.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Maybe Chris Pratt isn't just a comedy / dumb action hero guy.
Yeah, so I really don't know. I don't think I can pick. But
I can tell you which one I'd like to see. I think I would definitely like to see Holmes versus Moriarty.
I think so too. That's just so ridiculous.
I know we typically let the audience decide which one's the favorite.
Well,
but
we're gonna let them choose.
Yeah, well, no, our word is final. No, it's...
This is not a democracy.
Our thing is, they decide their favorite. We just say, oh, which one is, has the better chance of getting made. And this time it's just really, really hard to pick.
Because they both have their problems and they both have their possibilities. I would think that... If I had to... I'm going to go with Neon City. I think that one would be more likely to get made. And if you go with Holmes versus Moriarty, that way it's an even split. And then it's like we didn't choose.
Yeah, it's like we didn't choose at all.
There we go. Problem solved.
Well, that's it. That's it for the elevator pitch. Like we said, we're going to leave it up to you at home. You can go check out the posters that we made and cast your vote on social media. Of course, you can find us on social media on Twitter and Instagram at TEP_pod. Like we said at the beginning, tell your friends about us, leave us a review, leave us a rating, tell us how you like the show. We just want to hear your feedback. We'd love to hear from you. And, of course, We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.